What's up everybody, it's Shane here from waitingtobeseen.com. I'm so glad that you're here this week for Vlogstock Friday. Today, I'm really excited. I'm just going to be sharing a really quick tutorial. It's something that's near and dear to my heart, and it's using Photoshop, and it's going to be just taking a photo, in this case of myself, and showing you a really simple technique to help improve and even out skin tone. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, then you're going to want to stick around for what I intend to be a short, believe it or not, I think I can do it, a short tutorial. 5-minute Friday even. Let's see if it's possible.
This is how we do it.
I was at a creators meeting a couple of weeks ago for 90 seconds, and one of the cool things that they did on the night was take some headshots, and I got my headshot and I thought that's pretty cool. I've never had I guess a professional headshot done before. With that being said though, no work's been done to it, and so I'm like, I need to fix that before I release that out onto the wide world. I have already gone through that process. I thought this is a great idea. This is something I can share with people. It's something that I've learned from some online tutorials myself, so the techniques aren't my own, but it's something that I'm more than happy to pass on to share with you guys, and I hope that it's informative for you. The first thing that I want to say, just as a bit of a caveat, is that I am only dealing today with a very quick and easy technique to help to even out your skin tone in your photo. This is not a tutorial about blemish removal. With that being said, please go through that process first. Before you get to this point, you want to remove blemishes. Though, with that being said, I'm of the humble opinion that you shouldn't push it too far. If you are into retouching and it's something that you're only getting into, try to keep it looking natural. You can see here I've got two layers at the moment. One's called original, one's called blemish removal. If I just zoom in a little bit, you can see that's the original. It's not terrible. I liked it. Before you start to try to even out the skin tone, you want to remove some of the more glaring issues. And so if I just turn on that layer, you can see some of those come up right away. Okay, so for example, down here on the neckline, if I zoom in a little bit, if I turn off the blemish removal, you can see that there's a lot more of the hair right down on the lower portion of the neck, which just doesn't actually look all that good or professional. If I turn that layer back on again and off, you can see just how much of a difference that makes. Done the same thing with some of these bits here. Before you try this technique, let me encourage you as much as possible to do some blemish removal, but to try and keep it real. Yeah, we all know when it's really faked. So I think that is actually the marker of an awesome Photoshop user is when you can't tell. That's just my thoughts. All right, so let's turn on that blemish removed layer, and I'm just going to delete that original layer because this is what we're working with. Are you ready for this? I'm ready. I'm pretty excited. This is going to be fun and really quick because it's only going to be 5 minutes. That's the goal, and I'm going to need a timer. So let's put it up right here. Boom, and let's go. Haboo! First things first, we're going to need to duplicate this layer and come up to image, adjustments, and we're just going to adjust the exposure. I want to increase that quite a bit to 1.2. Click OK. Come down to the layer mask tab here. Okay, so we're going to make it a layer. Change this over to black and just get the paint bucket. We're hiding the increased exposure behind this layer mask, and the reason we're doing that is because we're going to come in and we're going to paint that on. What we're going to need to do is actually have a second layer. So if we just come down, have a new layer, I'll just put that above the other one. And for this one, we're going to change the exposure downwards. -1.2 I think is good. Same deal, layer mask. All right, cool. So click on the layer mask with the overexposed layer. First things first, up the top here, the flow is very important. We actually want to reduce that all the way down to 1, maybe 2% at a maximum, but 1 is pretty good. And the whole idea behind this is you're painting your overexposed pixels over the darker pixels of the original image. Okay, so it's helping to even out the skin tone. That's the entire point. Here underneath my eye, you can see it's a little bit dark. So I've got my paintbrush selected, and if I just start to do this, you can see it's starting to lighten up some of that dark area, and it doesn't look unnatural. It doesn't look fake. The eye here is a little bit dark too. I'll just lighten that up a bit, just so you can see what kind of effect it has. Now, if I just switch that on and off very quickly, doom, doom. It's dramatic. This part here, it just looks a little tired. It was the end of the night, you know. This is the night that I did my 60 seconds live edit, so I was feeling a little bit haggard, and yeah. Now, the reason why you then also have the underexposed layer is to do the same thing. So directly here underneath the eye, you can see that because I'm not wearing makeup, there's no foundation, there's all that kind of stuff that you usually have when you're standing underneath lights. If you're doing a professional shoot, people would make you up so that you have your skin tone is a little bit more even already. This is the way that you can then fix it, okay? So underexposed, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to paint this area here that's glistening a bit too much under the lights for my liking, probably down all the way here onto my cheek as well. So it was good, but it can be better, right? So if I come out a bit, if I just switch that on and off, you can see how much of a difference that's making to my cheek. Because I've done this before, I know that my forehead was highlighted, so I'm just going to increase the brush size quite substantially there. And you don't want to push it too far. I don't think I can say that enough. Don't push this too far. Just do it so that it looks legit, looks real. Okay, I'll just lighten this little part. I've got a bit of a shadow down here on the side of my eye, same here, just a little bit. Down here on my neck, I found that this was quite dark when I was playing with it the first time, so I'll fix this up, painting around here. If I go back to the overexposed, now I want to even out all of this pale skin. That's the downside of working in video and you're indoors editing all the time. You don't get to see the sun, and so there you go. That's helping pull that down quite a bit. Now if I come out, zoom out, if I turn both of those off, so this is what it looks like before. Turn both of those on, that's what it looks like after. Before, after. Before and after. And there you have it. Really simple. Honestly, you can take a lot more time than the tutorial element to make this really dialed in and looking really sweet. So if you're playing around with images and you're doing retouching, just to rehash 3 things that I'd suggest. Firstly, do blemish removal and take as much time as you can to really even out the skin, to remove those. Yep. Second thing is to then do this kind of thing to help even out the skin tone in post-production, because that will make the final image look really sweet and tasty as well. And the third thing is to not push either of those things too far. I know it's my personal opinion, but honestly, we can all tell when something's been pushed too far, so just don't do it. Just don't do it. I'm all done for this week. If you've enjoyed the tutorial, if you enjoyed this Vlog Stock Friday for this week, then please do me a favor. Make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside and give me a like for the video down below. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, then let me encourage you to consider doing so this week. We've got a big red button underneath the video that says subscribe, and if you hit the notification bell, then YouTube will let you know every time we upload some tasty visual goodness for you, whether it's Vlogstock Friday stuff or any other of the visual material that we make as content creators waiting to be seen. So thanks so much for stopping by this week. I am Shane for waitingtobeseen.com, and I will see you guys next week.
That's gonna leave a mark.
What?